had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire an energy vampire. But also, they're a literal vampire. And suddenly my team is spending all their time sharpening wooden stakes and buying bulk silver and rehearsing ancient chants, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant takes insights from over 1 billion professionals to create a short list of the best fits for you. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
It's football season, and you can now get almost anything you need for game day delivered with Uber Eats. What do we mean by almost? Well, you can't get a running back delivered, but you can get baby back ribs delivered. A strong defense? No. A strong deodorant? Yes. A six-pack of abs? Nope. Six-pack of beer? Yes. Get almost anything for game day delivered with Uber Eats, official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Alcohol 21 plus and in select cities. Product availability varies by region. See app for details.
All right, here for the weekend pod with Daniel. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah. All right. Just about.
I got back from the cemetery where I had to go to funeral and it absolutely pissed it down. So good for the mood, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's funny, I think, because there's like a really specific thing with Jews in this is that, like, first of all, you die and they put you in the ground immediately, like the same day, if possible. But also, there's pretty much like there's one Jewish cemetery. There are more than one, but like there's one place so everyone, we're all going there. So whenever you go there, it's like, we'll be here soon.
You got your plot reserved?
I don't know if it works like that exactly, but yeah, it's like, cause you kind of see, like I saw a few of my mates' parents were at the same gig, and it's like, yeah, I guess you're going to be here sooner than me. But yeah, like we're all going there. It's not, yeah.
Will United have won the league by the time that you head there?
Well, this is what my dad said. I think I talked about this a couple of years ago. A couple of years ago, my dad almost died like out of nothing, and he's just about to get wheeled off for the operation that they thought wouldn't be able to save him. And he goes to me, I hope I live long enough to see United win the league again. And I said, no, why is it long enough to see United win the league again? Like my dad's team, whatever it is, 18 league titles, I think. And then I messaged like a few of my best mates because it happened like totally out of the blue. So no one really knew what was going on. So I messaged like a few of my closest mates saying, this is where we are. And one of them who's a Red, Benji, you'll be listening to this, Pico, goes, tell Dave to keep the red flag flying high. As my dad's getting wheeled out, puts his arm above his head like this.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Hard segue into the actual football.
But on that football, but it is mental because like my dad, like at that point, he's 75 now, he was 73 then. And he's 73 years old. He's seen obviously enough shit in the world. And he's at death's door, like properly at death's door, as in like, I'm minding my own business. He's in hospital. As far as I understand it, there's nothing that is insoluble or anything. And then out of the blue, I get a call saying you need to come and say goodbye. So I come, we have that kind of conversation, like, grizzling away, whatever. And then, what's he thinking about? Thinking about the famous Man United. I have a similar story that a couple of the boys I go to the game with, and their dad, who's also part of our group, also similarly, has a heart attack out of nowhere. They really, really think he's dead. Such that the night he's in hospital, one of my mates is practicing the mourner's prayer just to make sure that he's still familiar with it because he knows that the next day he's going to have to say it. Then he's in a coma. They bring him out of the coma. And he sits up and he goes, lucky it's International Week next week. And again, like this guy's got like children, grandchildren, it's like late 70s. He wakes up from a coma that people think is the end. And what's he thinking about? He's thinking about the famous Man United. It's incredible, really.
It really is the most important, least important thing, isn't it? All right. Talking of which, United played yesterday. I hope any United fans don't drop dead after that game. You wouldn't want that to be your last game, would you? I mean, it was all right for It was all right for an hour, wasn't it? Or maybe 45 minutes until Glasner reorganised and Ten Hag did his best to vandalise the team. Yeah.
Because he's got 15 years on us, Glasner, younger than us. And he looks about 90. He looks like Glasner to me, and he's got like those soft eyes. He looks like a drinker that you would find in a pub in Glasgow. Sitting there dead quiet, sipping his pint dead slowly, but if you fuck with him, put a glass in your face.
Yeah, all day.
A glassner in your face. Sad shake of my head.
Dad jokes, FC. He said after the game, we had a little talk at halftime. We reorganised. We were more compact and direct. And I feel like it's a trend with teams that play against United, especially against Ten Hag's United. They're just like kind of, yeah, here's what we did to fuck them over or whatever. And I mean, I don't think we should be particularly negative about this game because actually for a half an hour, United played really well. And you're looking at that going, oh, hang on a minute. Is this a real United team I see like developing before my eyes only to then shit the bed in the second half?
I wouldn't say they shut the bed, but there's a lack of Ruth, isn't there?
I mean, they create like a
surfeit of Ruth.
They create 15 chances in this game. They actually didn't give up too many. They created 5 big chances in that first game as defined by Opta. I've never actually worked out what they really mean by a big chance. I guess it's a high XG chance and didn't take any of them. Should have had the game to bed by half time. Really, they were so dominant. I think there was one Palace attack in the first half.
I mean, we are capable of throwing it away. Had we scored all the goals we should have done, we're not putting jack shit to bed. But I know what you mean. All
right.
Remember Coventry?
Yes, I do. I do remember it. The cliche world of football commentary. We should have put it to bed. But didn't take any of them. And I saw a piece of data that said United have missed 17 big chances.
More than anyone else.
Miles more than anyone else. Significantly.
So to me, I'm quite pleased with this because I don't think that the current rate of conversion will continue, and we're creating. And last year we weren't doing that. This is progress. I don't know what you thought because I looked at United's team and I thought, fucking seriously. But then I looked at their team and I thought, okay, because what I felt they played 3-4-3. I don't like 3-4-3 because it feels to me like you get the worst bits of a back three, as in you're vulnerable down the sides, and you don't get the advantages of 3-5-2, which is 2 strikers and a third man in midfield. And when I see that they got 2 men in midfield, Kamada and Wharton, and then we've got an extra man. The fact that they're all technicians, I thought, made it quite a smart move because it meant that you stick Dallo in there as well, and Xerxes dropping off, and all of a sudden you're totally going to dominate that central area. And so I thought that was really good work from Ten Hag. That he laid the ruins in the second half with the subs, which we'll come to. But I thought, what are you doing? And then I realised, I don't know if that's what he was doing. What do you think about leaving Rashford out?
Well, I think he's unlucky based on his last 2 performances. I mean, just before I get to Rashford, as soon as I saw Eriksen in there, my 2 thoughts were, so this is an hour and a bit before the game, hour and 10 minutes now officially, although it got leaked by a few people before that, was 1, God, can Eriksen's legs stand up to 3 games in a week? And 2, he expects to have a lot of possession, which of course wasn't really the case when they battered us at the end of last season. I was like, okay, there's some level of confidence here. And especially with Xerxes and Ahmad in the side. And Garnacho, it's not really a possession merchant, is he? But I'm like, okay, they expect to have a bit more possession in this game. They expect to dominate the game, and we'll see how this goes, right?
Yeah.
And then on Rashford, I mean, he's definitely unlucky in that his performances have been improving. And the slightly odd thing about this, he's asked about it. And instead of just saying, oh, rotation, whatever, right, brushing it off as a nothing burger, he goes on this long spiel about lifestyle and sacrifices and like immediately made the headlines, which was he's been dropped because his lifestyle isn't any good. I mean, he was actually being positive.
Yeah, because he was talking about, he didn't say rotation, but to me it was weird because I'm cool with the rotation. It's just so refreshing that we've got options.
Yeah.
But I guess I thought that when did he decide he was going to do this? And is there a game plan issue there? Because to me, I thought, well, we said it last week, play Rashford against can't remember. It was Barnsley. Play Rashford against Barnsley because he scored one. If he'll score again in that game. It's a streak. Then you get him on that streak and you leave him out. And it's a difficult one because Garnacho deserves a start. And when's it going to be? But I felt like it defeated the purpose with Rashford a little bit as someone, because there's still another game now in midweek. Who plays in that one against Twente or whatever?
Yeah.
And I guess he is going to have to make these decisions every week now about who plays and who doesn't.
Well, it also talks to the, sorry to use this phrase on the non-tactics pod, the game model, right? Which one is it? Because in the first half, we had a heavy possession-based game model with players who like that. Bruno, Xerxes, Ahmad, like moving around positionally, very comfortable on the ball, don't feel the need to get it forward as quickly as possible. Eriksen too. You've got a whole bunch of players coming into central areas where you can control the game. With all the subs, all of a sudden, it's play it kind of direct and forward and into space, which is what Rashford and Garnacho and Højlund, when he came on, thrive on, right? So which one is it? Or is it just the fact that we get a different model every week, sometimes in multiple times a game? And they don't seem to be able to cope with it in the way that, say, a Pep Guardiola side seems to be able to switch from 4 to 3. I mean, he's playing 3-4-3 at the moment, but he might play a 4-4-2 next week, or his box midfield or whatever. And sometimes they switch multiple times in a game and they can do it and we can't.
So Nagelsmann said something about this, where he said it's not about formation, really. It's about principles. And there are certain things. So in possession, there should always be a player like this and a player like that. And it's more about that because obviously you have this formation. So, normally we play 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, right? But then the game kicks off, players run about.
Sure, yeah.
And then you have, we'll be whatever, like out of possession will be 4-2-4. And building will be whatever it is. Is it, I can't remember. Is it 3-2-5 at the moment?
Yeah.
2-3-5, can't remember. But so there's all these different phases of the game. And the game is becoming more systemized, I think, where if we do this, they'll do that. And if we do this and they do that, then we'll be able to do the other. And it is becoming more like that. But I feel like, the first half of that game is what Ten Hag wants it to look like and what Wilcox probably wants it to look like. And so and to come back to your point about Rashford, if we're saying that the way forward and the manager's plan is for basically Rashford not to be the first choice now, then fine. Then that is what it is. And I understand why he made that particular decision for this game, because Ahmad's playing on the right and he needed to give Garnacho time. Now he's ready. It's Garnacho on the left. If that's the plan, then fair enough. Otherwise, I guess he's going to be rotating for different players for different games, and I guess it'll depend on what he thinks is necessary for that game. But in the first half, it worked nicely. We just couldn't score, and there was like a couple where it was, oh shit, we've not scored there. Where there's, I guess that it depends more as much on the nature of the chances, because the Garnacho one I didn't think had gone in, whereas the one where it goes across the middle and there's Xerxes and Garnacho, and I couldn't believe that hadn't gone in. I say this all the time, this happens, that when you're sliding in and you're hoping to get there in time and the ball's coming from the far side, you've got to go with the foot that's further away from the ball, because then you've got a little bit more time to use it. But Garnacho didn't do that. And I mean, I hate missing one-on-ones, and I hate missing them more when Dean Henderson's in the opposition goal. Looks like he should be sniffing glue with the other weird energy drinking nerds at school.
He's absolute penis.
He's not one of my favourite X-Reds.
No. I mean, him and Di Maria over dinner would be fun, wouldn't it? Like, you can talk about how much do you hate United. Let's count. So
Di Maria, I guess I have time for. I think he's a brilliant player who walked into a mess and got treated like a prick.
Yeah,
and he may have subsequently behaved like one, but I don't think he threw the first or the second or the 35th punch. So I did enjoy it when we knocked Paris out. There was that nice close up of him, because that's football, but actually he was not more at fault than Van Gaal there, or even anywhere near as much at fault as Van Gaal there.
Oh, sure. But Henderson has behaved in a way that was very odd because he's behaving like a kind of jilted lover, isn't he? Except he was
a jilted lover who's given you the best ting you've ever had in your life.
But he's like, he was never even the main one. He was the bit on the side. He was the third name in the little black book or whatever. He just wasn't, he's never been that important. And
the way we have to look at it is when he went to another Premier League team, it was obvious that this would happen. He will have a blinder against United, possibly more than once.
Yeah.
It was inevitable that would be the case. And it was the case.
He made 7 saves yesterday, which is a high
That's
number.
A lot. Yeah. I mean, the one where I was also like, I cannot believe you've missed that is the Bruno one in the first, actually the 2 Bruno ones. I was really surprised you missed both of those.
Yeah.
But the one that hits the bar, I mean, it's a miss hit, I guess. That's why it hits the bar. But because all that had to do was be on target and it's in.
I mean, it's almost an absolutely brilliant finish by Garnacho, isn't it? Because it's the ball's not on the ground and he's managed to control it about.
It reminded me of a goal scored against us, actually, that Michael Owen scores in November 2001. We actually talked about that game the other day. He scores one against Boavista and then he scores basically the same goal against United. There was a little bit like that, like using the angle and pace of the ball to curl it that way. Yeah, it was, I mean, you can't, I'm not complaining about that one. And actually the 1-on-1 was quite a difficult finish as well because he had a defender who was behind him who would block some of the angle and Henderson had a good position. But yeah, I think in that, like you'd always kind of go across goal as he does because that's the way you go. But actually what you want in that kind of finish, the angle is you want a Ryan Giggs against Arsenal finish, which is obviously much harder to hit. But
yeah. Or even Rashford the other day against Barnsley because he went to the near side. But he had more space. I guess a couple of controversial incidents I guess we should talk about. One absolutely ludicrous piece of Martinezing jumping in 2 feet and missing the band completely. I mean, I don't know what the hell happened.
Isn't that the point? Isn't that the point? Isn't the point that, I mean, obviously you can't tackle like you did the long jump and it was, he's in a weird mood here.
Yeah.
He's not been good this season.
No, not yet. No.
But you know that what's going through your mind when you do that, and I can see why he wasn't sent off because he would argue he was trying to get onto the ball, not get onto the man, and he did.
Yeah.
But if you go in like that, that could easily be 3 games.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, he's the player moved backwards. He's the player moving forwards away from getting a red card for sure. And I mean, it's not a red card because the ref gives a yellow and VAR can't review it. And also the line between reckless and dangerous is fairly well drawn up. And I think it's quite easy distinction. I mean, I have no doubt Sky Sports are playing this every 30 seconds because they love to do this after a controversial incident. And the worrying thing is, as we know, referees have memories. And the next time he does something that is not as reckless, but catches the man, he's at great risk of getting a red card. I mean, you get a reputation, don't you? Right. I know that's footballing law, but just look what happened to Casemiro, right? So,
yeah, and it was. I see both sides of it. Like, if someone had given him a red card for that, I'd have said, fair enough, he's an idiot. But something that Arsenal fans never seem to say. I wouldn't have given a red card for that, but do you know what? That was a bit fucking stupid.
Oh, it was very stupid, but you would literally have to change the laws of football. LAW this time in order to send him off, right? You'd have to say that's dangerous. How can it be dangerous when you're quite a distance from the man?
Is there a difference between the way you pronounce law, LORE, do you think, in LAW?
Not in my accent, there isn't.
Yeah, because the reason why I say that is I was listening to something on the radio a while ago and it was talking about the word saw, and saw. And there was someone Scottish on there who...
they would say it, yeah.
And they all sound different. But for us, they're homonyms.
My 7-year-old son is doing speech therapy at the moment. He doesn't get some of his THs, Ws, Ls and Rs quite right. And so I'm like very cognizant because the therapist is like, he's trying to say like water or something like that, right? I would say water. In America, it's more like water. And like, so he's like, well, which way should we say it? English or American?
So how are you handling his accent?
Well, because we moved here when he was 3, he's never going to have an English accent, really. He does say a few things that you go, oh, it's like kind of surprising.
Wanker?
I haven't taught him that one yet. He says a lot of swear words, which is entirely my fault. but the ones he's not allowed to say are the B word, the C word, and he doesn't know wanker yet. But I would have to explain what it means. I also don't really feel like having that conversation.
I think people will be quite surprised to know that I'm pretty good at not swearing in front of my daughter.
Yeah.
But I actually asked my parents, because you familiar with the song Nobby?
No.
And his name was Nobby, and his name was Nobby, and his name was Nobby because he only had one finger. And his name was Nobby. The next verse is, and he went to rob a bank, and he went to rob a bank, and he went to rob a bank, and he stopped off for a Mars bar. And obviously, so I learned this. It was hidden. I guess it was in like the late 80s. I was at a football fun week thing. I really like this local playing fields or whatever. And on the dressing room, there was a poem that was printed. And it said, I came back with more questions on this. If you're feeling really randy, find a condom nice and handy. For all the thrills you have in bed, we'll not help you when you're dead. And I'm like 8, 9, I'm coming out. Could someone, and it makes so much sense. Like it's the height of AIDS. You have to be very, very explicit to people. Like, but it's like, I don't really understand this. There's a few things I don't get here. Yeah. And I came back with questions.
No doubt.
You know what I noticed about this game? The camouflage of the Palace shirts on the hoardings.
Yeah.
So they've got those electric hoardings, but there was a particular setting of an advert for something or other where you really couldn't pick the Palace players out. And I wondered if that was deliberate.
The City player the other night when they were wearing that Oasis shirt, was it?
Oh my goodness me.
He's like, I couldn't tell the difference between he said, I tried to pass it to someone, whoever, and he passed it straight to the lino.
And you said, you're shite!
He could tell them apart. It was great. A horrendous kit. I'm not sure if it's the worst ever, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah, it is bad. So,
on the other hand, I know you're not a fan, but I'm a big fan. I got mine turned up.
The away kit. I mean, it's not a crime against humanity, but it's not a favourite of mine. But I thought that. What did you make of the passing between the defenders? Because I know, like, for me, there's something about that I find immensely frustrating.
Yeah.
Where I'm thinking, get it forward. It's not that I'm not like being a dad, like lump it at the big man. I think, and I hope, as they get better at it, they'll find better angles, because there was too much Martinez to the lift to Martinez. And really, Martinez is the guy that's meant to carry it. Yeah. Or hit a diagonal, whatever. Yeah. It feels like they will get better at that, but it needs to be better, and the movement needs to be better. And same in the final third. We're not slick enough and quick enough in the final third either.
I mean, certainly in the second half, there were many occasions when Martinez had the ball for like 10, 15 seconds, and he's just waiting for someone to move. And he's going across and then back and waiting. Obviously, they're trying to bait the press, and Palace were not there to be baited. They were not pressing at all. They stayed very, very compact and went long or direct, as Glasner said afterwards. But yeah, there was an awful lot of that. Yeah,
it just reminds me. It's like Liverpool in the 80s when they're 1-0 up and George Courtney's refereeing. They're just doing that.
Going back to the keeper, and Grobler will pick it up and bounce it a few times and then go out to hand. Yeah, I didn't even watch the City Arsenal game today. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So I just because there's just too much of that. Like, I don't want to sound like an old man shouting at clouds here, but I just no.
I mean, what also amused me about that first half is how well we played, and yet we still almost conceded a cutback goal.
Yeah.
And
of Palace's only attack.
It felt to me like Eze was trying to finish that in a stylish manner. Like, look, open the body, nice little roll. Like, if he's really if someone says, I'm going to kill your family if you don't score this, he scores that. It felt like he was trying to look good. I mean, I do like him. He's a player.
And then he missed the one in the second half too.
That one, I thought that was it. I could not believe he missed that. And was that, I think just before that happens, Dalot and De Ligt get sent for a bag of chips in the box. Both of them dive in. And I hate that. Defending is about standing up. It's not really about tackling. It's about standing up for as long as you can, because the longer you stand up, you then make the attacker do something to beat you. If you're jockeying, you're stood, then he's got to make a move, and you either respond or not. As soon as you make the move, he knows where you are, and then he's then able to respond to you, and that is much easier as an attacker to deal with. And they both did it when And we almost conceded because of it. And I mean, in general, De Ligt has been a plus point. The fact that he goes forward with the intention of scoring, and he should have scored, but he didn't. But he won't. He will mainly score those. And it felt like. And then I was thinking, I've been complaining about the delivery for so long, but maybe it's just there's no one that knows what to do when the delivery comes in, and he absolutely knows what to do, and that is a massive benefit, I think. And
it will be somewhat of an irony if he outscores Harry Maguire. Actually, Harry has not scored that many goals for United. He did not score many goals. And I've said this many times.
Of good chances.
Yeah. I mean, Big Ed doesn't jump very well. So De Ligt, I think, is a net positive. He's not the perfect defender. He does make mistakes when being run at. Dalot has improved so much, and that's the one area of his game, like being a bit rash. I mean, he got twisted blood, didn't he, against Tyler Dibbings? I forget his name now, the kid from Southampton.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, just going on a diversion about him, he does not wear shin pads. Socks around the ankles, no shin pads. I mean, brave guy. But apart from that, I mean, Dalot's almost him and Mazraoui have become almost like Pep Guardiola fullbacks, like sitting in midfield for half of the game, both of them. And that's an area I did not expect Dalot to be looking comfortable in those kind of areas.
So I felt like by the end of last season, it was more about the consistency with him and just like the real like nitty gritty of proper defending. That otherwise he offers a lot to the like he's comfortable in all phases. He can take the ball off the defence. He can play. He can go wide. He can invert. He can make runs through the middle as well as centre forward. He's got a lot of abilities. The question for him is, one, like, are you actually a good enough defender in the end? And two, are you good enough at any of these things? Even though you can do them all, you're good enough at any of them. But So what do you do? What would you do when Shaw comes back? Who play the fullback?
Shaw for sure, because I just think, especially with Rashford and Garnacho, it opens up part of the pitch for them. And he is, when he's fit, comfortable in everything. I mean, he's not asked to invert a lot, but he can definitely do that. He's a far better defender than he was 10 years ago, and obviously carries the ball really well. So he's in the side. And then the other one, it's interesting because Mazraoui hasn't done anything wrong at all, basically. I mean, I think he's just looked very, very comfortable in that position. Is he a better player than Dalot? I don't know, but he's not super quick, is he? I guess that's one area of weakness.
He does. It's the lack of athleticism, but what we have now that we've never is we have a lot of small space footballers.
Yeah.
I mean, on the pitch the other day, Xerxes, Eriksen, Mazraoui, Mainu, all comfortable in little spaces. I mean, even De Ligt really is like doesn't want to get caught out wide, and Martinez a small space footballers, and that is what you need in modern football.
Yeah, and Mazraoui is excellent at that. You know,
I'm sure he's the game into Rondo.
Yeah, exactly. It was interesting, the kind of positioning, because, I mean, it's very obviously noticeable during the game, but if you look at the average touch map and the pass maps, you can get them on SofaScore or MarkStatSpot does the pass maps. Bruno's very, very wide right, and Eriksen's very, very wide left. Clearly, that's the patterns they're trying to build there. Bruno, like, highly skewed over to the right-hand side. And I guess that's to create those kind of small space games, have people a bit closer to each other in the kind of relational system that Ten Hag likes. And it looked much better for 45 minutes, just didn't have the end product. What do you make of Xerxes then? Because he's going to come under some criticism soon for not scoring goals, but he looks super nice, doesn't he, as a footballer?
Oh, come on, man. Yeah, like, first of all, he's a beautiful footballer, and we can all enjoy watching that kind of touch and imagination. Someone who genuinely will do stuff that you didn't see in a way that you didn't anticipate it possible. Like the goal that Eriksen scores from the edge, in midweek, comes about partly because Xerxes plays the pass before the pass, but the pass he plays is because he's decided what the next pass is. And I think he plays it to Bruno. The only pass available to Bruno is a pass to Eriksen, because Xerxes, he knows what position Eriksen's going to be. And if he goes boom, boom, and Bruno goes boom, and you get boom, boom. Oh my goodness me, that was terrible. And you get boom squares, then he knows what's going to happen, that United are going to score. And I mean, I agree, we want more goals from him, but if the dickheads around him had taken the chances that he was involved in helping create, we wouldn't really be saying that. And what did we create when he went off? I'll save you looking. The answer is nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And that is because as soon as he went off, we started spamming balls in behind because that's what Højlund and Rashford in theory want. The changes were dreadful. I mean, I was surprised he took Zirkzee off. I thought at that point, we were taking Ahmad off actually. And I would have had Ugarte on as soon as they started coming into the game, really. At that point, I'm saying I got to hook Eriksen.
I think there were 3 breaks, like 3 chances or half chances that Palace created in that second half, like in a row. And I was like, Eriksen's coming off next for sure. Like United just started getting caught on the transition. The Ahmad Zirkzee, I mean, Ahmad had a good game. He's like very good in those.
I didn't enjoy Ahmad yesterday. I don't think. I mean, I see he helps you keep the ball.
He helps you keep the ball. Yeah, I want him to get into spaces where he can score, though. Don't you?
Yeah, exactly that. I never felt like he was about to make a goal happen.
Yeah,
in that, and that's not a general criticism. Just in that game, and the problem there is because if you have Zirkzee who doesn't score and Ahmad who doesn't really want to score, then then it can't be a problem. But again, like I look at that game and think Zirkzee is a problem. I think that we finished badly. And it's why also, that if you play a side like Palace, they're at home, they've got good players, they've got a smart manager, they're not going to play as badly again in the second half. And that's not even necessarily a reflection of United. I'd like Ten Hag to have been ready for what Palace might have done because it was just so obvious. And maybe he was, but you can't, you couldn't have assumed that the second half was going to look like the first because there was almost no way that it was, and that is not particularly a criticism of United. And also, I don't see that game, watch that game, see it was 0-0 and go, the manager's an idiot. Because the manager did his job, until they changed the subs, I thought the manager did his job well, and the players let him down because they weren't ruthless enough. They weren't decisive when they had to be. And you don't get any chances and you miss them, you're lucky to get away without getting beat, really.
For sure. They had a plan, they had a system, it looked like a team. For how many times have we felt this? It looked like a team where the training ground, the coaching, the game model development, all the sessions, all the things they're working on was being deployed on the pitch, right? So, and then the subs happen and it just goes to fucking chaos. Straight back to chaos ball. We can't retain it and Palace are breaking on us. And you're right, in that we're lucky that we didn't lose and they didn't take one of their, well, at least 2 really excellent chances. So,
and although I blamed it on him taking Zirkzee off, and I said I would have taken Ahmad off instead of him, he does then take off Ahmad and Eriksen as well. Once you do that, then you're really like, who are your players who are going to keep the ball for you? What's the game model then? Because the players that you've left on the pitch don't look like, if you put Mason Mount on maybe, but not that I would have done. I'm just saying that when you take off those 3 players who are very big, possession-centric types, like if you want to keep the ball, given the squad we've got, you're going to need Zirkzee and Ahmad on the pitch quite a lot of the time. Then what are you trying to do? And it's very easy to say, well, Rashford did jack shit when he came on, because he did. But he was given very little scope to do any more than that because he didn't get anything. He didn't get any service. And so
almost nothing. Yeah. But I was going to look at how many touches Rashford had because he had half an hour and I bet it's not many. So he made 14 touches. There you go. So he just didn't get the ball.
And the thing also is that because there's more quality on the pitch now, it sort of means almost our best players who we want on the ball more are getting on it less. Right, we're seeing Bruno's not, maybe we'd look at the data and find that actually I'm making it up, but the way my mind is seeing it is that Bruno is getting less of the ball than usual. And because there are other good players around him who also want the ball, it's not like when you have the Bruno, McTominay, some other dickhead midfield, I can't remember who it was, where literally like none of them, they don't want the ball.
Yeah, I saw a lot of criticism online. I barely ever take much note of this, of Bruno, because he's wasteful with the ball. I mean, I don't know why this is news to people. I honestly don't. He's going to get between 70 and 75% of his passes accurate per game. He created 2 chances yesterday. That's quite low for him, actually. I mean, he's normally in the 4 to 5 shot creating actions. I know.
Shot-creating actions. Brilliant.
I know. He did something and some bloke had a shot. So, yeah. All right. One thing before we wrap up talking about Palace. What do you make of the handball shout? It comes...
Penalty.
Lerma.
Fucking penalty. I mean, I know we missed it before. Like, I didn't see it at the time. I saw the replay, and actually, what I'm going to say sounds like I'm criticising the officials, but actually I'm not. That I saw it and I thought that is a penalty, but they're not going to give it. And that's how I wanted it to be in the end. That the referee couldn't see it at the time because it was hard to see. You see it again, and is it enough of a penalty to say I'm overturning? I'm happy with them.
His hands are out.
I mean, I'm happy with. I don't mind them not overturning, but it is a penalty. It's not as obvious a penalty as the McTominay one there, maybe 2 seasons ago, where that was so obvious that I messaged a mate who was watching the game at home, and it was right by the away end, saying, "Don't worry about this one. Like, I've seen exactly what's happened here, and there's no way you can review this and not give a penalty." And they review it and they don't give a penalty.
Yeah, yesterday's. I mean, it's come a very long way. So the distancing is taken out of it as mitigation. It has brushed off Mark Guay's head, hasn't it, before it's hit Lerma? But Lerma's hands are not in a natural position. Like, unless you're Oliver Twist begging for food, this is not a natural position to have your arms. And so I'm not quite sure what the mitigation is there. I haven't seen. Daniel Dale from ESPN does a roundup of VARs from the week, so we'll see what he thinks about it. He seems to have some inside track on what the PGML are thinking of, but it seemed, although very difficult to spot at the time, in retrospect, fairly obvious.
Yeah, it was because it was. I think that it was if it had been more obviously visible. Did you see it at the time?
No.
If it had been more obviously visible at the time, it would have been much harder for them not to give a penalty. But because like the crowd, there's only really is the Lift and one other United player who was saying that's a penalty. I guess maybe it feels like it's easier not to give it. But yeah, it's a penalty. Yeah. I mean,
it's really hard in the kind of melee of it when I think they showed one replay, and it's really hard to tell whose arms it's come off. Is that De Ligt's arms, or is that Guay's arms, or is it Lerma as it was? But
does De Ligt, by the way, look like the T1000 a little bit?
I'd never thought of that.
Well, it's once we going on with. You come back to me. But he does look a little bit like the T1000, I think.
All right, very good. All right. I guess that's it for Palace.
Also, one thing, like their fans with the megaphone.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's because I feel bad. I've said this before, probably criticizing because they're just like kids and they're trying to have a good time, make a good atmosphere. And I respect that, people that are prepared to go and make the effort. But it just is like that they've learned about behaving at football from watching Soccer AM. And it's also because like you go to games abroad or you watch games abroad and there's no topical singing about stuff that happens during the game. There'll just be a drone that just continues through the game, and Palace is a bit. It's just. This is just bad music.
I like English football has its own unique atmosphere, and I think it's good that we have our own unique atmosphere at games, which includes decades of songs. The United Songbook is massive, and I like that. You go abroad, you take in a different atmosphere. So I mean, I've seen many games in Europe and around the world and stuff, and like it is what it is. I hate more the forced atmosphere you get in American sports. Sorry to say this. I used to hate it when I'd been to baseball games 20 years ago, but they will have the screens around the stadium going, make some noise. And then it'll come over the tannoy. Someone will like shout a chant for everyone to copy. And I'm like, fuck off. It's supposed to be organic. That's the whole point about football fan culture. But it is just very different. They have this ultra thing at Palace where they're trying to create an atmosphere. It just feels a bit forced.
Talking of American sport, that "Let's Go Dodgers, let's go" is probably the worst sports chant that there is. Similarly, the shout, I mean, they do it on tennis as well. Like you win a point, instead of going, fuck it, yes, or whatever, let's go. Yeah, I've got hard on for that. I don't like it. I don't know why.
Hey, someone said this to me the other day. I'd mentioned another a fan channel that's prominent. And in the YouTube comments, someone said, "You've got a real hard-on for him." And I'm like, that's not how I'd use the phrase. I mean...
Well, it's an interesting... I was just thinking that, actually, that it can mean opposites. If you could say I've got a real hard-on for that, it can mean you really like it, but it can also mean that you really don't like it.
Apparently so, yeah.
Wonders of English. It's like...
the wonders of English, yeah.
You know shit, you don't know shit. I mean the same thing.
Very, very true.
With me for more unstoppable observations.
You have kids, you have to keep up with the lingo. So I frequent conversations about how much Sigma I have and whose Skibbity toilet is doing what. And
Skibbity. Right, Skibbity is a jungle MC, not something that's not good. Like, this is what I particularly dislike this one. For those of you who can't hear, my daughter is chastising me from outside.
Brilliant. I'm leaving that in. Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Also, peak means something different. It's so peak. And also, if you call someone preppy, it doesn't mean like Ralph Lauren shirt tucked into chinos.
It's different now, yeah. Preppy was definitely a different thing.
I think it's a close relation of brats, if I'm not mistaken.
Again, had to learn this one all summer. Daniel, do you have any Riz? Anyone on the FC Twente side got Skibbity? No, I'm going to...
I have Twente, I think, are absolute Skibbity peak.
For
peak
sure.
Skibbity. I can't... It's so hard to keep up with this European competition, even though the Europa doesn't have the Swiss model.
It does.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're all in the same format, yeah.
Yeah, it's just... Like, I watched some of the Champions League last week, and I'm just thinking, okay, but like, I don't have the patience to investigate what this means. But I know that Arsenal drew with Atalanta.
It won't mean anything until rounds 6, 7, 8, basically.
Yeah, it's literally just games of football.
Yeah.
And I can watch games of football, but it's already, you can tell that it's shit, I would say. Yeah,
the UEFA's marketing was how much jeopardy it would create, but it creates no jeopardy until right at the end. And it's only on the margins as well. It's the competitions for places jeopardy. 5, 6, 7, 8, and I guess 9, 10, 11 will be like competing for those top 8 places. And then down, because the top 8 go through, the next 16... The next 16 in a playoff.
And of course it's with you, because like now, we're getting Rangers. Rangers get to come to Manchester and we don't get Rangers away. And it's a mess. Like because if you just think about football, the sport, right? One of the reasons football, the sport, has conquered the world is because it's really simple. You can play it basically anywhere with anything. And think about all the things you kicked about pretending they're a football. There's so many things.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, a league is simple. Everyone plays everyone twice, or a cup is simple. There's a draw. One team plays, one team goes through, one team goes out. Simple. Once you start obfuscating it, then it loses that essential magic of simplicity. And if the stuff that you're watching doesn't matter and you know it doesn't matter, then it becomes much harder to watch.
Yes, I mean, that was my initial reaction to the format. I think there's going to be a lot of dross in the first 5 rounds, and it's only maybe in the first 6, and it's only round 7 and 8 that are actually going to be meaningful. And they're only going to be, given that 24 teams out of 36 are guaranteed to go through, 16 of them have a playoff, another couple of games. There's not a lot of jeopardy, and we won't find out that little bit of jeopardy until right at the end. So I really think it's only in the latter knockout stages of both Champions League and Europa and Conference that it's really going to count for much, and we're going to care about it.
Jeopardy. Shit competitions that begin with UEFA.
Yeah.
60 seconds.
3 of them. Yeah. So this one's at Old Trafford, right? Right? I have to remember there's so many fixtures. Rather than at FC Twente, who are only 30 years old. They're not even that, or 50 years old or whatever. They're a reasonably new club. And it was only in the 2010s that they had a ground that was more than 13,000. Do you remember a few years ago when the roof caved in at their ground? I think, yes. I wonder, was McLaren manager then, or was it before he was manager? I can't remember. exactly when he was manager at FC Twente. But yeah, the roof caved in. So we won't get to visit that one, sadly, and have some jeopardy about whether the roof will fall on you. Presumably they're shit, right? I mean, I looked down, I didn't know the manager, he's a young guy. I didn't know any of their players. I like to think of myself as pretty knowledgeable about European football, but the third best team in Holland did not know much of what they've got. So I'm going to assume they're not very good.
Because Ajax had an absolute mare last season.
True.
I mean, you would expect to beat these teams at home quite comfortably. And we'll see. Because it's now the case that we're sort of looking who gets picked in midweek to know who's not going to play at the weekend, like with the British Lions tours or whatever, your midweek team.
Midweek team, yeah. Maybe, yeah, especially for these first 5 rounds of the Euro. I mean, it's going to be really, United have to be really bad. I guess we don't know how many points it's going to take to make 8th place, do we? But...
I mean, it's so funny because they've basically taken some of the worst football that there is, the Europa group stages,
and expanded it.
Shit on it. Yeah. And made it worse. It's just mind-boggling. I mean, it's sort of mind-boggling.
How would you, let's pretend to care about it for a second. How would you approach these first few games? Would you have a midweek team and go, okay, the midweek team should be good enough to get enough points? Or would you go, hey, while the season's still fresh, let's try and win the first 3 because you're basically guaranteed to go through if you win the first 3. You're bound to get enough points. I guess
I'd be keeping Manu out of all of them.
Yeah.
Because he's too important. We don't have a replacement and he needs to rest. So I'm not playing him. I would say at the moment, I'm probably trying not to play my centre-backs as well because we don't have replacements. I'd be playing Collier if I could. Might be playing Casemiro as well because you don't want to be that he never plays. So I guess, of the automatic starters, like Mason Mount's available. So these are because if you think about the second string team now, we don't have any real replacement fullbacks, but then you've got Maguire and Evans centre back, and you could go Collier, Mount, Casemiro, and then Højlund, and 2 of the others, Rashford or whoever.
Yeah. Anthony.
Yeah, I mean, if Højlund's playing, I'd be wanting to play players who might provide for him. So I'm probably not playing Rashford and Garnacho to start with, and then you give them the last 20 just to keep them in the swing of things.
Start Ugarte in this one. Needs to get a 90 under his belt at some point.
Yeah, because he needs to start games. I mean, he needs to start building relationships, and he is going to be a first choice player this season. So I'd be getting him in as soon as I could. And it's Tottenham next week, so you presume we're going to want him for that one. Yeah, surely not going to get.
This is on Wednesday, thankfully, and I guess they've changed the old format of it all because the Champions League went across 3 days. And
that's also annoying because it's just, at least when you know it's Thursday, you just know that on Thursday, and now it's supposed to organise your life.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I haven't actually looked at the dates of all of them. This took me by surprise, and I guess they're playing all 3 competitions across all 3 days because the Champions League is not going to be every 2 weeks, is it? They've got to get 8 games in.
Yeah, and they also need, I think maybe they just thought, well, hardly anyone's watching the Europa, so if we put some Champions League on all the dates, then we're getting eyeballs all the time, whereas on some days you might have 2 Champions League games that people want to watch. If you put it across 3, then that's less likely to be the case, and you try and put a big game on each day, then it makes sense from a...
Just so many games.
Notes in pocket kind of way.
There's 189 games in each of these competitions, so what is that? That's well over 500 games of...
And how many of them will anyone remember afterwards?
I mean, so few. So few. This week, Gianni Infantino had a Zoom with TV execs across the world trying to sell the FIFA Club World Cup, of which there is very little interest. And if he managed to do it, I mean, they've got dates. The cities are supposed to be decided by the end of this month. But if he managed to get that through, United won't be in it, I don't think. I don't think we'll have got enough points to be one of the 4 European teams, thankfully. But you can just imagine, how many games some players will be playing. With the expanded Champions League format.
What Rodri
2 cups in England and the Club World Cup and in the internationals, they'll be playing 80 games this season.
And what Rodri said is right. I mean, it's what Varane said as well, that it is too many games. It doesn't matter how much money they get paid. The human body can only take too much. The same with cricket as well. That it's now almost impossible to be a 3 format player. Why should that be? And as I said on Twitter that Rodri's employers are famously open to hearing and advocating for workers' rights.
Oh, yeah.
So perhaps he should take it up with them, given that they're paying for him. But I mean, he is right that the amount of football that they're being asked to play is absurd, and no one really cares because players are transient and money is somehow permanent.
Talking about City, I don't know whether you saw New York City FC tweeted out a picture, and the caption was something like "With us always," and the flag, it was a giant tifo. And no one, zero people give a shit about New York City or the MLS. So this is all moot, but the irony was not lost. And it was about Inter Miami. I don't think they were even playing Inter Miami. It was a big picture of Messi, and it said plastic, 100% plastic or something like that, suggesting Inter Miami's fans are plastic. And this New York City is a club that was formed, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, is a money laundering facility for City to dump on some of the licensing costs and whatever.
Just pass losses around.
Pass losses around. Yeah. They play at a baseball stadium. The whole thing is absolutely as contrived and as plastic as you can possibly get. Anyway, the irony was...
Talking of plastic, Phil Jones was on the coverage of United last evening and looked like his face, I don't know, but it looked like his face has been properly Botoxed.
Oh, you think he's got rid of some of the elasticity that he famously had? That'd be a shame. That'd be a shame.
Yeah, there was an absence of gurning and definitely an absence of forehead creasing action.
I actually think, because was he on the Overlap podcast or what? I can't remember where he was on last week, and he talked pretty well, Phil Jones did. I mean, he seems to have quite a lot of self-awareness. I don't know whether he'll be a good pundit or not, if that's his plan.
He actually wasn't. So I was told a long time ago now that Phil Jones was not the brightest. But I actually thought he was quite, with better questions and not Jamie Redknapp being there. I think we would have got to see more of what he could offer. But there was just a few little bits because he's obviously played with quite most of these players, a lot of the United players, and he's played the game at a high level until quite recently, even though he was injured. So he should have plenty to impart. And he wasn't bad, I would say. I hadn't seen him on telly before. So, but he wasn't bad. It was just James Redknapp was there, and he's appalling.
Just truly appalling, has absolutely nothing to offer. One of the last holdovers of a time when you could just be completely dumb and say vacuous things, but you happen to be a footballer.
I don't think it's there. This is like me here. It's eye candy.
Yeah, that's why we have you.
With nothing to say, but if you're hot.
Hey, I kept getting emails and DMs on Twitter saying, when are you going to get on YouTube? We want to see Daniel's face. That's why we did it. Yeah.
Exactly.
And they are, and I get feedback now. They're like, yes, thank you. And we particularly like we did topless. Yeah. And they don't mean just the top of your head either.
Oh man.
Very good. Yeah. I think we've run out of things to talk about. Anything else?
Excuse me, we're just about to get onto my abs.
Your abs. The one pack. Yeah.
I remember Clive Jones, I don't remember because he didn't say it in my lifetime. Clive Jones said of Arnold Schwarzenegger that it was like someone had he looked like someone had lumped a load of peanuts in a tights.
Lovely. I once knew someone whose job she was makeup artist, but mainly what she did was spray paint on abs onto men's health models.
Oh, wow, that's an amazing job. My friend Beeks, actually, his sister-in-law, he gets another man. She painted Gail Clichy blue she's a makeup artist, and he went as an avatar situation for
right.
Sid's Christmas party once. It was actually I think the game might have been where they played Chelsea, and Bellamy gives that interview, and he goes, everyone in football knows what JT's like, because just after the Wayne Bridge thing. And it was such a brilliant put down, because it was so matter of fact, not like, I think that JT is an arsehole. It's like, it's like one of the greatest insults is everyone said you're a dick, and they were right, you are. Like, that's just like that. Like, everyone in football knows what JT's like. It's not even worth discussing. Everyone knows who this guy is. That I'm not even going to actually say what he's like or anything, because you know too. It was, glorious. And
Coming up on the Backers content, top 11 scumbags in football. No, I'm kidding. Although that might be a good one day. I need put some thought into that one.
More than 11.
There's definitely more than 11, but for different reasons. JT being a double scumbag. All right. Thank you, everyone. We will catch you soon. Check us out on our YouTube channel if you haven't seen us there already, and on the socials. And thanks a lot. We'll be with you after the Twente game.
And please also support our Patreon if you possibly can. Obviously, we want to keep this show. We want to keep doing it for free. The Tactic Show is good. So if you enjoy this, then you should also enjoy that. And
All right.
Help me build my abs.
Bye now.
Please.